Holy shit! We just hit 100 subscribers. Let's go, baby! Today, I'm gonna be making a video on how to make your 808s go mental. Let's get it. So first, before I show you how to make your 808s hit really hard, I'm gonna hook up a melody. Starting with Omnisphere. Now that I have a whole beat, let me show you how to make those 808s go stupid. So the first thing is we're going to go right into the sound itself, 808, and we're going to go up to this little light bulb, ding, and we're just going to touch the boost knob. So we're going to touch the boost knob. You don't want to crank it. I mean, unless you like that RoboCop bullshit, you're going to be turning it like here. You don't want it to sound like a fucking robot playing this, so got a little bit more crunch to it. And now I'm going to turn it down a little bit. One thing to remember is, okay, you want your 808 to hit harder. One major thing to think about is how loud it is and how loud it is relative to the kick. Because when these two are synced up perfectly, it's going to hit much harder. Although it isn't necessarily louder, it's going to hit harder and just sound way better in the mix. So thinking about that volume, can make a really big difference. So louder doesn't always mean that it's going to hit harder. So the next trick I'm going to be talking about to make your 808s hit harder is arrangement. With arrangement, there's a couple things I would do. There's the use of risers and there's the use of placement. So with placement, what I'm talking about is if in this first verse here, if I play it from here, right, it would just play through the whole thing, but would give this a lot more momentum and make your 808s smack a lot harder in that first verse, is if you put the kick for like the second half. So like within a certain segment of the song, like the verse or like half of the chorus or something, just adding more variation with the 808. So the next thing that's going to make your 808s hit harder is risers. So right here, I have placed a riser in front of the first time the 808 comes in and when that kick comes in with along a crash. So let's see how that sounds. It just adds a lot more tension before the first initial hit. Think of it as like a knockout punch, I guess. The next thing that's going to make your 808 hit harder is the kick. Depending on what 808 you use or what kick you use, it could make or break the piece essentially. So let's say you're using an 808 and it's, it hits, but it doesn't just sound right with the piece. If you got an 808 that just blends really well with the song, it's going to take it from here to here, a whole nother fucking level, baby. So along with the kick too, if you're taking it from here to here with the 808, let's say it sounds good, right? You could add a kick that sounds like shit, So let's say I add a different kick. This is what could mess up the 808 and make it not hit nearly as hard. So right now this is what the kick sounds like. Which, sounds pretty good. But let's say I add this instead. I'll just copy this, paste it, and I'll just silence this. So you see how it kind of just takes all the attention away from the 808 and it just kind of meh. Little things like that can make a really big difference. And now the final thing that's going to make your 808s go mental is mastering. So for the master, you're going to just have to load up one Fruity limiter, just one. You're going to turn the attack, release, and sustain down. And what that's going to do is it's going to clip the song. And the only knob you're going to have to touch is the gain. So essentially, what you're going to do is increase it until you hear a little bit too much distortion, then lay it back a little bit, and it'll be just the right amount of clipping. So I'll show you how that's done. So giving it just that little bit of clipping is going to make a big difference in terms of the amount of sound that you're going to be able to pull out of the piece and how hard the 808 is going to hit.
That, my step slimes, is how it's done. If you learned a thing or two, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. Till the next one, peace.